Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Full Court Cleveland from the Big Play Studios on the lakefront. I almost had it right.
You almost.
I'll try it again. My name is Rafa. I am joined by Sam Amico, and always on the other side of the lens, Mr. Always Producing Ryan. We're still waiting for Booby Gibson. He had to get like retaped or something.
Yeah, haircuts.
I don't know how that works. But like
retaped
no
on
makeup or anything, just you have to get like tape or something.
I could use tape as well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
I am doing quite well. I was worried. I was sad I wasn't here last week, but I know Gab kept you guys.
Yeah, we were sad too, but as much as we love Gab.
Well, we got a full show for you today on Full Court Cleveland. We are going to break down, as we always do, some of the Cavs headlines. We'll do a weekly power rank. Nobody has replied to my tweet, about getting the people opinions on. I think it's Jack that doesn't post a clip about inviting people to send us your topics about power ranking, and then if we use your topic, we'll give you a pair of Rafa seats. So, what is it, at Full Court Cleveland on Twitter?
I believe so.
All right, so our friends at Garage Beer will also throw in a 12-pack if you want. So take a look at some of the top stories around the association. But first, 3 games in a row won by the Cavs on the road. And that is something that they needed to correct, Sam. And we're talking about all the little things. We'll get to the OKC game. Just hold on there. But the Cavs beat the Hornets 94-87. It wasn't really the game you would like to see because another game where the Cavs shoot less than 40%. But this time they at least kept the other team at a lower rate when it comes to long-distance shots, especially a team like Charlotte, who is a very explosive offense, who shoots as many threes as anybody in the league. And the Cavs were not just lucky that they missed some of the open shots, but they forced them to take some bad shots as well in the first half.
Yeah, they forced them into some shots that they don't normally take. And Charlotte came into that game, out of the last 2 weeks heading into that game, were second in the NBA in offense. So the fact that the Cavs limited them clearly to 32 points in the first half, gave up more than that, I think, in the third quarter.
Same in the third quarter, 32.
Yeah, 32 in the third. So, they did what they needed to do to build that big lead in the first half, and that benefited them quite a bit. But I just think that recently the Cavs defense has been getting a little bit better step by step. And, of course, you saw, before that, they won those 2 games in Philly. So I think we're seeing those steps, win 3 out of 4 heading into this show, 1 bad loss at home. They need to start taking care of business at home better now, the Cavs.
And this is a couple of things that you have to look into. First, again, this is not an excuse, but the injuries have affected the rotations that Kenny Atkinson puts on the floor. That's a given. There's nobody here that can tell me that's not the case. Sure. But we did see the effort of putting a little more of a defensive starting lineup the other night against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And the Cavs right now, second in the East on offense, 10th on defense. And that is a discrepancy, Sam, that more often than not is going to show in the standings. And I think those 2 numbers, second on offense, 10th on defense, on the East, in the Eastern Conference, it shows what the Cavs are in the standings.
Yeah.
It doesn't lie.
Right, and you need to be more efficient defensively. They're starting to climb in that area, the Cavs, but you're right. I mean, that really says more about your record than anything else and how you're able to take care of business against teams that you should be beating at home, like the Utah Jazz and some of these other games where they've struggled, where you're kind of scratching your head. Why are you struggling? Usually it's because of your defensive efficiency, and that does hurt them. Not having Max Strus and Sam Merrill, those are 2 guys who are very intense defensively, kind of scrappy, do all the little things. So they're missing them. Obviously, take away any team that all-star point guard, and that's going to impact you offensively in terms of what kind of looks you're getting. I thought that we saw that particularly against Charlotte in the second half, not having Darius Garland out there, too many turnovers, a guy who can command the offense. and this isn't an insult to guys like Craig Porter Jr. who do a nice job, or Donovan Mitchell or Jaylon Tyson, but that's not their forte. So now everybody needs to shift over a spot when you don't have Darius Garland out there.
2 games without DG the PG, 2 games with over 20 turnovers, and 2 games shooting less than 10 threes for the Cavs. Those are things that, good news, bad news. The good news is things that you can correct. Taking care of the ball and shooting better. We'll talk about that and a lot more going around the NBA and the Cavs when we come back on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. Always producing Ryan, the man in charge of putting us on FanDuel and on the Big Play app that you can download now to your phone and tune into us anytime you want. Sam Amico from Hooped Wire, who you had an amazing guest last week. It was
on Hooped Wire Live,
an all-star legendary guest.
Legendary guest.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Look what the cat brought in.
He's
joining us today. He was actually my guest at a Chalk Talk with a Cavs United. The Cavs do a really cool thing, like 8 or 10 times a year before home game. We send an invite to some of our Cavs United members, which are the people that buy season ticket packages.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a Chalk Talk, and I am responsible for moderating. Chalk Talk and Retro Movie was my...
It's funny, I've never been invited.
See, he threw that retro to the fans. They wasn't feeling it. They was like, hold on, Booby ain't retro, because if he retro, we retro. So they was like, nah, hold on. But nah, it's great what they do in there, because then you get the real opportunity to kind of talk to the fans and like kind of break down moments for them where they probably felt like during their time as a season ticket holder, it was the moment that made them a Cavs fan. A lot of times they're able to have those moments with me. So when you left, I was in there for another 20, 25 minutes having those conversations.
It's funny, and they do love it. And that's why I said that I appreciate what the Cavs do, because not only we take the feedback from our fans and our Cavs United members and try to get better. We're not perfect, but we always try to get better. And them having a chance to meet Booby, to meet Mark Price, to meet Brad Doherty, and then sometimes some people from the front office come and actually face the fire
right.
from the fan. Most of the time it's questions that I have to get in the middle and say, he can't answer that because it could be considered tampering. But hey, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're talking about title contention, says the rundown here. Obviously, the Cavs just lost to OKC. I want to hear your take on that because, it's one of those games that the score doesn't really say exactly what the game was like, because a lot of those threes that Oklahoma hit, 23 of them, I think, were from the bench that came in and didn't miss a shot in the garbage time. The Cavs shot on the 32%. They competed, I believe, in my take, on being shorthanded with a Darius Garland, Sam. And they still went down 17, came down and cut it to single digits. I thought it was a game that they were in there. It's just the fact that Oklahoma is the champion, and they showed it because it didn't matter who was on the court. The game looked the same for them.
Yeah, Oklahoma City did the same thing in Milwaukee 2 nights later. So that's kind of their MO, is very physical. And they have a lot of guys who are shooting with great confidence. You know, we talk about SGA, and
we got a new name for him. It's Shea Free Throws Alexander.
Booby loves those nicknames.
Yeah, go ahead. Shea do his thing, man.
Right. But I mean, you look at like Chet Holmgren now. They didn't have Jalen Williams. Chet Holmgren's probably an all-star this year. The way he's kind of stepped into his own. So, as far as the Cavs are concerned, there was just a little more shot making from the champs, that defensive intensity, and they're just so deep when it comes to the bench. You put in a guy like A.J. Mitchell, who so many people haven't heard of, and he comes in and he lights it up, and he did the same thing against Milwaukee. Those are the guys that are the reason that they're winning and competing for championships.
Ubi, I know when things are working, nobody's going to complain. Like I always say, when you're winning, the jokes are funnier, the food tastes better. And in case of the way that Oklahoma City is using their players, it's amazing to see obviously, I'm sure nobody's going to complain, but my question is, how does that work in the mind of the players when you know the rotation is just like for 20 minutes, even though it doesn't matter how well you're doing it,
Right.
but everybody comes in and does their best during those minutes because otherwise, that's it.
I mean, I think that separates
What was that?
No, sir. that separates the champs from the contenders.
Yeah.
The guys that buy in. Like, these guys have bought into what it takes to win. And when you want to win, you have to star in your role, not just get out there and do your thing just because coach said get out there. Literally start in it. We talk about OKC, and we can't even figure out who the number 2 guy is. We one week is Chet, 1 week is Jay Will, but
And I was going to do that because Caruso didn't have a good day of the bench. He missed his first 4 triples, I believe.
But this is why
it didn't matter.
But this is why you talk about buy-in and everybody being collective, because now if Caruso's not on, that other guy who was sliding for that 20 minutes is locked in, and Caruso knows that he's going to have his back. So he's still stepping in, shooting the same shots. And as a collective, you play with so much more confidence. You never feel like you're out of a game. And then if the other team don't show up and play the right way, you normally win that game handily. And so I think for us as a ball club, we have all of the pieces and we have the buy-in, but we have to continue to understand it's levels to that too. You know what I mean? And staying in your role and understanding that physicality and understanding every night's not going to be your night. You're not going to have it. But as a team, if we win, that's all that matters.
And the craziness about basketball, the team that's not really known for shooting threes comes in and shoots almost 50% and 23 of them. They shoot the team that leads the league in putting them up and making them. In the Hornets, they shoot 17% and hit under 10. So I don't know. It's one of those things that the Cavs, one of the reasons, yes, we do need to do a better job guarding the perimeter, but sometimes some of the threes that this kid Miller hit the other night in Charlotte, come on.
Yeah.
It's one of those yes, by the coach, But hey, speaking about the guys being on, and I'm going to booby on this one, Jaylon Tyson put up 39 in Philadelphia on that second win against the Sixers. Played really well against Charlotte in the victory on the road, the third in a row for the Cavs. But I always say this. Say what you want about Jaylon Tyson, but the hard work that he's been putting on and off the court is what's showing off.
Oh yeah.
In the scoreboard and on the TV screen.
Take my glasses off for this one, man, because this is one kid that I watched in the summertime. This is one kid that I watched feel like he's ready for minutes and they just not be there for him. And then when you get your opportunity this year, you don't waste a minute. If that's rebounding, if that's diving on the floor, if that's doing whatever the team needs to win. I hear he walks around the locker room and calls himself the role player. You know what I mean? He's taking full responsibility of that role, and that's what this team needs. More guys just buying into whatever it takes to win, and that's when you have those 39-point games, when you're not out there looking to score 40 or 30. You just playing the game the right way. And then that thing,
like one night they both go
and then they get rolling. And now it's your second year, and you have a career hot night. And then you hear Donovan talk about just how great that is for a second-year guy. So hats off, glasses off for Jaylon Tyson, man, because I'm just proud of the kid, and the work is showing up. And
the great thing about that is, again, going back to the way the game is, he puts up 39 against Oklahoma. If you ask him, he'll tell you he didn't have a good game against.
There you go.
Against Philadelphia, he didn't have a good game against OKC. But to bounce back. And I think for you, Sam, I don't want to call you retro, but you said that you started writing chisel and granite.
Yeah.
But
I think retro
how amazing it is to see
it's projection.
How amazing it is to see a guy grow in front of you, like the way we're seeing Jaylon Tyson do.
He's really become a huge difference between winning and losing. Last year, sometimes as a rookie, you're just kind of out there, trying to figure it out as you go, and you can see that, and that's the case with most rookies. But this year, he's become such a huge difference to winning and losing. He had 39 points in that game in Philadelphia, but the thing people don't talk about is the assist at the end, to Mobley to finish the game.
He guarded Maxey the whole night, too.
Right. He defended Maxey. Maxey had a miserable night, was like 6 of 25 shooting or something. So he's kind of fit into that role of, look, here's a two-way guy when you don't have Max Strus, who's kind of that two-way guy, right? He's given you that extra element that they were lacking before. So when you do get guys back like Strus and Garland and Sam Merrill, especially Strus and Merrill, who kind of play that same
And
kind of
alter the
role.
defense, too,
And you can implement all three of them, and that just adds to your depth. All of a sudden now you're the Cavs and you're more like Oklahoma City because you have more depth, you have more guys who have been there. So the fact that, Jaylon Tyson's doing this individually very well and really had a quietly good game against the Hornets. The fact that he's doing that only adds to their depth and adds to their defense.
And the maturity he's shown, and I know, I'm speaking from a human that doesn't possess the ability to play at an NBA level.
Or be mature.
If I had 39
That
and I'm
part.
looking for a 40-piece, I'm trying to hit that reverse layup or something. Am I right or am I right?
That's a fact. You get close to that, and it's a career high night for sure. You might want to. 40 looks a little better than 39 on ESPN.
There's a big difference between 39 and a 40-piece. And JT decided to just hit it behind Embiid for Mobley to hit at the winner.
Because he's about the right things.
Congrats to JT. Congrats to the Cavs who won 3 in a row on the road. And when we come back, we're going to look up next week what's coming up with a very different Sacramento Kings starting the homestand. Well, a one-game homestand. But we'll look into next week when we come back on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're still trying to picture myself going behind under the basket, kind of like Dr. J, but maybe more Kyrie with a spin off the flag.
Sam, you caught it. Embiid pins it on the glass.
Yeah.
Ralph never gets in the game
And
again.
he's going with 2 hands.
Coach, Atkinson, get him out
with
of here.
JT, who decided to pass it to Mobley. But welcome back to Full Court Cleveland. Sam, Boobie, Ryan, and myself, Rafa, here. And we're going to take a look at the matchup for this upcoming week, starting with the Friday night matchup with the Kings visiting. No Mike Brown, no, what's his name in Brooklyn, Jordi Fernandez, and then a ton of different players in that team. A very different type of team going through a very, very hard part of talking about what we're going through. What Sacramento's going through. I mean, that beam has been like turned off.
they took down the beam.
That whole beat just died, like the music died.
Yeah.
And with that song, what's your take on that game? Dangerous, anyway.
Always dangerous. Sacramento came in last year. Cavs lost 18 games, and I believe won in Cleveland, and swept the Cavs in their 2 games last year. So listen. This is not a criticism, but it's reality. The Cavs lost to Utah Jazz at home that just came off a 55-point loss. So Kenny Atkinson has said that. These teams that are struggling that you face, this is a coach's greatest fear because these are, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Celtics, now the Thunder. Those are teams that are always easy to get up for. Sacramento Kings, not necessarily a team that you're thinking – but they're dangerous just like everybody else. Boobie always says they're NBA players.
Yes, sir.
Right? And
they have DeMar DeRozan that can put up a 40.
DeRozan and Levine killed the Cavs twice last year, and he's still there. So, you've just got to be you've got to try, as difficult as it is for 82 games, to come out fired up.
And they won 8 of 12, including twice against the Rockets, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Nuggets, Golden State, Minnesota, and Miami. So it's not kind of like what the place where Charlotte was last time we visited them. And it's the kind of thing is like it happens in basketball, Boobie, where you look at you think the human nature is to think, we
got him. Yeah.
We're just gonna go in there and go get it. And then reality hits you. The key for me with these games is you cannot let this be a game in the second half.
There you go.
You cannot give them any hope because somebody was talking to me about the Utah Jazz tanking. And I say, I don't think it's tanking because I know, at least in that team, I know Kevin Love and I know Larry Markkanen. I know those guys don't like to lose and they want to. But I do think that if you take them out of the game, you take the will to compete. And I think that's the key for this game.
Absolutely. I heard all coaches are different, but there was one coach that said the game is won or lost in that first 4 minutes. And I know some teams get up and teams come back, but I think it just says a lot about mentality. It says a lot about habits. It says a lot about it doesn't matter about who you're playing against. It's about us. And again, we say that a lot, but that's important going into this game because you think about the Kings, and they're talented. You know what I mean? You look around that roster, and there's a lot of teams in the NBA that want those guys on that team. They want the DeRozans and the Levines, and those guys, in my opinion, are playing for those opportunities. And so I think that the Cavs have to understand that, and they also have to understand that this team they're an individual ISO type of team. And so it works to our favor, but again, you have to go out there, play your principles, play the game the right way, because these guys can't come in here and win because they might not know how to play together. But one individual at a time all of them can give you 50 on a different occasion.
And they all will love the opportunity. Going back to that 40-piece, 40 for DeRozan.
I bet you one thing, if DeRozan or Levine had 39 with 5 seconds left, they might go with the reverse.
Yeah, right. Well, they play like you, Roth.
They might not make that pass.
The NBA has been trying to do a better job in terms of scheduling with like playing 2 games in one night the way the Sixers hosted the Cavs a couple of nights ago. But, the Cavs played Utah. Then they went to Philadelphia for 2 games. Came back to play OKC in the matinee on Martin Luther King Day. Amazing job by our entertainment team, by the way. I have to say, the epic team at Rocket
Oh, yeah, it was fine.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
an amazing night honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. But everything we did, the player introduction, the anthem, everything.
It was like Mobley when he came out.
We have to have them sing a song just for us. But then they went to Charlotte.
Mobley.
Right? They went to Charlotte, and now they come back to play Sacramento on Friday and leave to go play Orlando to come back to play Orlando.
Yeah.
How do you see that matchup home and home against 2 teams, that know each other very well for the last years, and they have been on the way of each other lately?
Yeah, Orlando obviously has given the Cavs fits, a couple years ago. And these are still largely the same cores, with Banchero and Franz Wagner in Orlando and Suggs when he's healthy. What's his name now? Now they have Desmond Bane, who's a physical guy, kind of in that Lou Dort, kind of that type of player. So Orlando is just a team that, they struggled early. It had some injuries too, and really never. They've been inconsistent and a little bit of a disappointment as far as their fans thought they're going to be, and most people around the league thought, they're going to be where the Pistons or the Knicks are, or even in third. So, these are 2 teams, the Cavs and the Magic, that are expecting to get their act completely together in these last 30 games or so.
And then comes 128, the most annoying night in the league in the year.
First
of all, because Nick Pedone is going to be there saying, we want Bronny. I am annoyed by the fact that Cavs fans forget that they're supposed to root for the home team when they come to the game.
We still root for the home team.
I appreciate everything LeBron James has done for this city, for this community, for this franchise. Everything. Hey, you know what? I have a championship ring.
Oh, look at that!
Ain't no way you
That's
can
it, right?
disrespect the king on this show with the ring on.
I hate to see all these Lakers and Heat jerseys.
How dare you pull that ring out and finish this statement by saying that we can't cheer for the man when he come in town?
You can't cheer.
How can you pull that
81 other nights.
How can you pull that ring out and say that?
You can cheer 81 other nights.
We can still
not on January 28th. Come on.
Listen, we can still boo him if we need to. During the game. But I'm saying, as far as what he's done for us and just the love that we got for him in this city and his son, when they in the building, they deserve all the love we can give them. We're not gonna have how many opportunities we gonna have? How many opportunities will we have?
You don't
to
have
give
a
him that love?
DVD or like that?
No,
you can
sir.
watch it on
I'm
Twitter.
talking about in person. I'm talking about in person, and it's
By the
personal.
way, I'm not criticizing LeBron James.
Do you have a DVD player?
I know you don't. I know you love him.
I don't think there's anybody in this league or in any sports league that has done as much as LeBron James has,
and that's
for
why
our community.
And that's why it's that's why it's personal.
Let's just open it up with that, because I don't want
I know you love him.
I just hate all those jerseys.
I know you prefer it to be all wine and gold.
Yeah.
I know you do, Ralph. I don't
want to hear Nick Pedone going, "We want Bronny."
I know how you rolling, man. But
how much you want to bet they're going to be chanting that?
Last time we spoke about it on FSC, I jumped in. I joined. I said. I jumped in. It's different I'm a little biased, Ralph. I came in when I met LeBron James, it was at Bronny's birthday party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my feeling about it is a little different, and I just feel like everything that he's done over the years. For here, we look up in the rafters. We gonna see him up there in the rafters one day, and all those banners that's up there, he got something to do with. I just feel like when a guy like that walks in your building, gotta give him the love when the opportunity that you do have.
They will at the beginning and the first time out and all
I'm
of
gonna
that.
be right in there with
I
him.
just can't stand all the Heat jerseys.
I want us to
Lakers
win though.
jerseys.
Let's start there.
At least wear the Cavs jersey.
What LeBron the 23 that
They
night?
come in wearing Lakers jersey, man. Come on. If you're gonna
that's-
wear the 23,
That's a little much.
wear the white and gold.
Yeah, I like that.
Huh?
I like that better.
That's my only beef with that. Other than that,
It'll be a great night again. I want the Cavs to do their thing, to come in and play it the right way. But we
still
all
be the most annoying night of the
it
year.
is the 20th anniversary of that jersey that he was rocking at that time
the
too.
10th of
There you go, 10 year of the ring. You
10
know what
year
I'm
of the
looking
ring.
at you. He throw that ring up
10
there.
years reminding people in the Bay Area that 73 don't mean a thing without
That's
the
what I'm
ring.
saying. You can't
That's
throw
right.
that ring up there
But-
and not give him his love.
No, dude.
They go together.
I'm not giving him any shade at all. I think even though as a Celtic fan, I disliked him for a long time because your team just sent people home.
Yeah,
but
we had some battles.
hey, it's still bring the Cavs jersey, LeBron jersey, bring them all. Be merry.
As long as it's Cavs.
Those Lakers jerseys.
This is going to be the first year ever that I'm changing.
And by the way,
from the
It's a
for
retro
all of you
night
worried
too.
that this is going to be the last time you get a chance to see LeBron, he still looks better than half the 25-year-olds in the league.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay?
Facts.
So just I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Is that a fair statement?
I think all three of us look better than half the 25-year-olds in the league.
Talk to
I
him,
would say it's a
Sam.
fair
Let him
statement.
know, sir.
Right. Just to annoy you, Ralph, I'll probably be the first time ever from press row be going, we want Bronny.
Yes, sir.
We
You
want
gotta
I
Bronny.
don't
do it.
mind Bronny. I mind the Lakers jerseys.
Nah,
You don't want
right,
the
you right.
Lakers fans in our building. I get that. Yeah, I
too
understand.
many.
There's too many. But
and maybe because I don't know if I consider myself a little retro like Booby, but I am a fan of the team. I never bought a Michael Jordan jersey or a Bobby or a Kobe Bryant jersey.
Or a Boobie Gibson jersey.
Or a Booby. I wasn't a Cavs fan at the time. I have a Kobe Gibson jersey now. It's
My
not
man,
signed yet.
there we go.
I got a
Man,
Boobie
I knew I
Gibson
could get it.
I haven't got any signed yet, but I always was a fan of the team.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you left my team, it's not that I wish you ill, but I ain't rooting for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just some exceptions to the rule, in my opinion. Some guys is an
You
exception
can
to the
root
rule.
for LeBron for 80 of 82 games a season.
I think you could do
And
both.
if you're going to root for LeBron on January 28th, wear a Cavs jersy.
or Ralph gonna throw you out, right?
Yeah. We got the LeBron bouncer
rule.
over here.
Man.
Before I get into more trouble, we're going to come back and power rank the best LeBron jersey. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be back with a power ranking on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. I'm a little more happier moment here on the Big Play Studios in Burke Lakefront.
Airport.
It's been a minute. Yeah,
Good job.
Yeah.
Even when I have it
two
right,
out
I
of
think
three.
I had it wrong.
Yeah, right. You were right there.
Power Rank is brought to you by our good friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just two flavors, classic light lager and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer, flavor beer. Find local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. And I think our resident writer, how can we call our? Is that a good title for Nick? Yeah, resident writer. Have
Sure.
sent us, after the Cavs face the Hornets on rivalry week.
Yeah.
I don't know who
Rivalry week.
anywhere that thought about that.
There are
but
some big questions about rivalry.
NBA,
and
NBA
the thing
rival
about-
series.
yeah,
is
we'll get into
yesterday.
that. We'll get
I
into
thought,
that,
I thought maybe the Orlando Magic's game would have been better than the against the Hornets. But who are the Cavs' biggest rivals in your era? We talked about
listen,
how
we
in
t-
NBA it's usually like at the moment rivalry more than Lakers Celtics or.
But we talked about rivalry, and it's just the energy in the NBA. It's not giving rival. Like
Yeah.
everybody likes each other. Everybody hangs out in the summertime, works out together. Everybody cool. So there's not no animosity in these matchups. And I think that's when you start to talk about rivalries. You mentioned Orlando a second ago when y'all was talking about that. Those two young cores fighting to turn that corner could be a rivalry because we've seen them in the playoffs. You get to the Knicks and the fact that we've had some issues with them in the playoffs. They got a young core trying to turn the corner. That's how you build those rivalries. And I think long term, I always go back to the Detroit days when I used to beat up on them. They still don't like me to this day. But there was there was animosity there when it came to those rivalries. So if I had to give them one, I would say it's those guys because the East is wide open and we're fighting to be that team right now of this decade. But
I think it depends a lot on the history.
It's sweet right now. The
it
league
depends
is sweet.
a lot on history because the Cavs faced the Pistons almost every season when we went to the first straight final. But I think if they won one out of the 22 games or whatever we played, the 20 games that we played in the fourth series, I think it's a lot. So it's not really a rivalry, right? Yeah.
we normally would go 6 or 7 games.
Orlando, we have a 7-game series.
Yeah.
The Knicks, we have a bone to pick with. And other than that, what would you consider a Cavs rival?
Well, I think that current rival, yeah, probably like Orlando and the Knicks. I mean, I think that there's a strong possibility, depending on how this season plays out, but I can foresee and predict a rivalry probably coming with the Detroit Pistons again, because now you have a team that's number one in the East, number one in the division. Not that anybody really pays attention. The former coach is over there, former assistant coach Luke Walton. So, these are teams that could potentially meet in the playoffs again, the Cavs and the Pistons, and there's a lot of connections.
And what's his name is also there from Houston, from the team that beat the Spy Slamajama, point guard, coach
Sidney Lowe.
Sidney Lowe,
Is he still there?
Okay. He was here with us,
Okay, yeah. So, and there's a few others. Javante Green's there, Karis LeVert. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of connections there. Not necessarily a rivalry yet, but you see it developing again. And those are old time from Booby's era when the Cavs and the Pistons were playing in the playoffs and the Pistons were winning those championships and all that before that. So I can see that coming. As far as a true rivalry, I agree. What in the NBA?
I have a question for you. I don't know, Booby, you're a football fan, but does it have anything to do with the fact that in the NBA divisions don't mean anything?
Yeah,
I know
probably.
we talk about us having a record,
probably.
so-and-so record on the division, but because in football, for example, I mean, look, you don't have to look farther than the division that we have here.
Well, you have the great history.
Like all 3 teams are rivals.
Right.
And it's the history.
Go to the NFC North.
In terms of qualifying and going to the playoff and all that.
Yeah.
In baseball, the same thing. You pick any division.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it is that the divisions don't mean much. I also think, sometimes you run into dumb luck. The Cavs and the Pacers would have been huge. Like, people be really paying attention to him if Halliburton was still on the floor.
Yeah.
So that is probably a rivalry because of the injury that could, once Halliburton heals, that could renew itself. But yeah, I think you're right, Ralph. It's probably, you don't have like the AFC North where you have the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. Whenever those teams meet, it's clear that they all hate each other.
Somebody's got to throw some hands, man. Somebody got one time. Somebody's got to
that'll create a rivalry.
The AFC East, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Bills. Even though the Patriots have ruled for a long time, even back again. But I mean, there is rivalries, divisional. In the NFL, divisional games are not good games to bet on.
Yeah,
because just the fact that one team is better than the other has not everything to do with what the outcome is going to be, because there are rivalries.
It helps too with that shortened season too.
Yeah, right. Less games, but I also think the divisions and maybe the NBA should make the divisions either do away with them entirely or make winning your division worth. If you win your division, you get a top 3 seed, like in the NFL.
And that's my point about not divisions not meaning anything. Yeah. But enough for the power rankings. Senior resident writer, please use the Twitter post about sending your thing, and if we use your power ranking, we give you a pair of Rafa seats. When we come back, we go around, still walking around the NBA on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back to Full Court Cleveland. I thought I was out of trouble and then changed the subject, but now we're back into a trouble that I could get in a topic.
Ralph,
I mean,
you
I could get in a
always-
little
Ralph,
trouble.
you
The
always in
NBA All-Star Game and the starting squads have been announced. Who is there to blame? The teams, the fans, the players, and the coaches for Donovan Mitchell not making the starting five while being one of the true candidates to win MVP of the in the league, at least in the Eastern Conference. The East will have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who once again led the East in voting. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
When you talk about being snubbed, I don't know if you agree with me that Don should be one of the top five, but who do we take out?
Tyrese Maxey, and I think he's fantastic. That's not a slight, but of those five guys, I think Donovan's having a better season, and Maxey's been fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, everybody kind of views this as like a slight against somebody. It's not. It's just like if you're going to put in Donovan Mitchell, that would be the guy that you would take out. I mean, the Cavs are having as good of a season as them, so it's not really coming down to, the Sixers are tearing it up. So I just think that, I'm surprised because Donovan was really high
in the top five
early in voting, and then somehow got
that was
pushed
50%
down.
the fan popularity contest, then 25% coaches and 25% players, which means that his colleagues and coaches did not see him.
It was the fans who
as
had
being
him way
in the
up.
top five.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Booby, is I was in a conversation saying, well, Cade Cunningham because the Sixers, the Pistons are first in the East. Well, Jaylen Brown because what the Celtics are doing, and Tyrese Maxey because of the surprise that the Sixers have. But my question was, where would the Cavs be without the season that Donovan Mitchell is having? Considering all the issues, all the injuries that we had.
Well, to answer that question, we'd be nowhere without Donovan. He's our guy and the best shooting guard in the NBA. Let's start there. But I didn't know that that 25% vote was kind of the thing that after he was high that kind of tipped the scales. That changes things a little bit in my head. I was gonna blame the fans. I was gonna blame them. I was gonna be the first one. Like, come on, Cleveland. Like, what are we doing? But
because I see how the people vote for Giannis without being from Milwaukee, for example.
Yeah.
Because of who he is.
Yeah. And
right?
then a lot of
In
times,
terms
like
of
you said, there's the
globally,
fanfare. If somebody's having a good season and they haven't been, kind of like you got the Jaylen Brown and the Tyrese Maxey's. I think he's leading the league in scoring.
Yeah, but Jaylen Brown just went to the finals.
That part.
Like
Popularity contest. That's what you're saying. So, yeah, I hope Donovan takes note. I hope he sees, understands the dynamic of that vote, and that's his peers. So he gets to see these people. He get to for the coming down the stretch. I got to see all y'all that didn't
and they
think
become
I
public
deserve.
too. Voting, right?
What's that?
The players voting becomes public or not?
Say it
I don't know.
Say it with your chest then, because he's the best shooting guard in the league, and so say it with your chest. Down the stretch, whoever thought he wasn't that guy, put your money where your mouth is, and now you got to play against him and see him. So I hate that he had to deal with it, but our superstars, sometimes they need that battery in your back that they already here. It just takes him to another level.
Right.
And I hope that that's what it does to him, because he deserves to be a starter, no question.
Sure. The reserve will be announced on February 1st. Any chance the Cavs get more than Donovan Mitchell? Because if Donovan does not get a reserve spot, then I'm quitting my job.
Oh, yeah. We running the whole thing down. We shutting the whole
And
process
at this
down.
point, would it be J.P. Bickerstaff, the head coach of the?
I believe so. Would be, because I think they're doing 3 teams this year, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Never mind.
But they'll still
Now they're
pick
doing
the
the world-
best
the
in the
world
West
thing,
and
yeah.
the best in the East, and then I think probably the assistants might help out for this other team. I don't know how it's exactly going to work, but yeah, J.B. Bickerstaff be the coach. I don't know. I think that the Cavs, obviously Darius Garland's been hurt.
Evan
too
Mobley's
much.
having numbers.
Evan
similar to
Mobley,
last year,
but
except
I
that
think-
we didn't start 15-0.
The problem, what's working against the Cavs is they went 64-18 last year, so people figured they'd be like 22 and whatever now, or 38-3 or whatever right now. So that's working against them. Their success in the regular season last year, the fact that they're not matching that in terms of their record is going to work against them in the people's eyes who make the selections.
The Pistons have a 5.5 game lead over the number 2 seed. Who after number 2, anybody could be a female.
Oh, absolutely.
Even from the 10th spot, you can still climb. And talking about the 15-0 in March would be great for any team, right? But Bobby, do you see the Pistons slowing down a little bit? Is this a team that you think is built for a longer run? Speaking with Mahorn and the other person, I forget the name, and when they came to visit us, they said to me, well, we don't know what we're gonna do because we don't want to break the chemistry we have. So I don't know if they're gonna be doing anything in the. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah. One thing I know about JB,
deadline.
he gonna stick to the script. So I mean, who the guys he got on the floor, he gonna roll with them. So I mean, I see the mentality that they have. They bringing that bad boy Pistons feel back to it. They punching on people and fighting a little bit. So I think for them, I think the East don't know what's going on with a lot of the teams. So I think the Pistons will be able to stay where they are. I just think, to your point, the rest of the league have to figure out what lineups they starting with. Guys are in and out and trying to figure. I don't even know who is the second best team in our league right now because nobody's been able to be consistent in putting guys on the floor or their play. So I'm excited to see how the end of this season rolls around.
Right. The Knicks just had lost 4 straight, right? And then beat the Nets by 54 points. So
yeah, and the Knicks started off. I mean, they won the cup, and everybody was excited about those guys. And now they just dropped.
And as we speak, the Celtics on the number 2 spot, who everybody thought they were going to be in the lottery.
We don't know who.
The Knicks are 3. Toronto is 4, only a game and a half behind Boston.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
same
the
record
Cavs are
as the
right
Knicks.
there too.
We are 5th, 3 games behind, and 4 in the loss column. And then comes Philadelphia, Orlando, Miami, Chicago, Atlanta. Surprises outside of the playoff spot, I think, is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Indiana is that bad without Halliburton.
I'm a little surprised that they're that bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm surprised they're in the bottom.
But they lost Turner, too.
They were that bad last year, in my opinion, in terms of
they just came from the finals.
Throughout the season, they was that bad. But think about it. They both years they got lucky. Luck is a good thing. A thing that goes with making it to these championships too. Yeah. They won every game that series. I mean, every playoff series. I feel like somebody went down too. So I didn't really give him too much credit last year.
My favorite segment's coming up. Off topic when we come back on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. And before we really get off topic, I would just want to congratulate the Michigan Wolverines for beating the Ohio State Buckeyes in the first matchup of the two teams being in the top 10 in a long while.
Yeah.
And Michigan was able to pull it off.
This is a wrong show to congratulate Michigan, just so you're aware.
Well, I'm about to keep me out of rock.
Right, yeah.
He's always off topic.
And NFL playoff, college basketball, in college basketball, Miami of Ohio, still undefeated.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Alabama just got a player who signed a 2-way contract with the Spurs in 2023, which is something we talked about a little while ago about how the NBA, the NCAA is just trying to figure out a way to get.
That's insane.
Now, if you play for the G League, you can go back to school.
Hey, I got 2 more years left for Texas.
There you go.
You should find out if you
I go down there and knock down a couple threes. Now, my defense, I might not be able to do
that's overrated.
Right, these days, nobody plays defense.
No.
Anyway.
No, yeah.
Patriots at Broncos. No Bobby Nix for the Broncos.
Bo Nix? Yeah, no.
Bo Nix, yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Patriots are going to win that game, probably.
Speaking of division, Rams at Seahawks. Those two guys.
I'm rooting for the Seahawks.
You're rooting for the Seahawks?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? You're rooting for the Rams?
I'm not rooting for anybody. But every time
I'm
there's a
rooting
new
for the
pope,
Seahawks.
the Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Every time there's a what?
Yeah, a new pope.
Really? Is there a new pope?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Well, I know where I'm putting my money, and I don't even bet.
Well,
it's just no
there's
fun.
a new sheriff in town, and his name is Bobby Gibson. We finished with that. Full Court Cleveland back at you next week on the Big Play Network.